You think you already understand Gemini, the talker of the Zodiac. Quick-witted, curious, always 3 conversations ahead of everyone else in the room. But here is what most people never actually figure out. The part of Gemini that looks like inconsistency. That's not a flaw. That is a mind that sees the world in layers. And once you understand what is really happening beneath the surface, you will never misread a Gemini again. Gemini is ruled by Mercury, the planet of communication, thought, and perception. While most signs experience the world through emotion or instinct, Gemini experiences the world through the mind. They observe constantly. They notice the shift in someone's tone mid-sentence, the pause that lasted just a little too long, the gap between what someone says and what they actually mean. And because their mind moves so quickly, Gemini often holds multiple perspectives at the same time. Where others see a single story, Gemini sees 3 possible interpretations. Where others see certainty, Gemini sees the question hiding inside it. And this is where the famous duality begins. Because when you can see both sides of everything, you stop believing that anything is truly simple. Gemini understands that people contain contradictions, that someone can love you and still let you down, that something can be completely true and also incomplete, that kindness and selfishness can live inside the same person, in the same moment. So Gemini develops a kind of mental flexibility that most people misread. They shift perspective. They explore ideas from angles others haven't considered. They question assumptions that everyone else simply accepts. And to someone who finds comfort in certainty, that can look like inconsistency. But for Gemini, it is just curiosity doing what curiosity does, moving forward. There is also something happening beneath the surface of every Gemini interaction that almost nobody notices. While they are talking with you, they are also watching. Not out of suspicion, but out of fascination. Gemini's mind catalogs conversations automatically. Every reaction, every moment of silence that runs slightly too long, every small gap between what someone says and how they say it. They often sense what you are about to say before you say it. They feel the emotional undercurrent of a room before it breaks the surface. Which is why Gemini can feel completely present with you, and quietly somewhere else at the same time. One part of them is fully there, laughing, talking, engaged. The other part is watching the whole thing unfold, turning it over, trying to understand it. This is the real meaning behind the 2 sides of Gemini. Not 2 personalities, but 2 modes of being in the world, running at the same time. But the most misunderstood part of Gemini isn't their curiosity. It's what happens when that curiosity suddenly disappears. Because when Gemini stops asking questions, something important has shifted. Now here is where relationships with Gemini get complicated. Gemini connects easily. Their curiosity draws people in. Their humor puts people at ease. Their mind makes conversation feel genuinely alive. But the moment a connection starts to feel like a cage, the moment it becomes rigid or predictable or emotionally suffocating, something in Gemini quietly retreats. Not because they stopped caring, but because Gemini needs mental freedom the way other people need security. The freedom to think openly, to change perspective without being punished for it, to keep exploring without someone treating their curiosity as a problem to be solved. When that freedom disappears, Gemini rarely announces it. They simply go quiet. They go internal. And people who don't understand them read that silence as coldness, distance, or lost interest. But it isn't coldness. It's a mind that has run out of room. And here is the part of Gemini that almost nobody talks about. Beneath all the wit, the movement, and the endless curiosity, Gemini is quietly, deeply reflective. They replay conversations long after they end. They return to moments where something shifted, and they sit with those moments alone, turning them over. They carry things they never say out loud. Gemini processes emotion the way other people process information, by examining it, breaking it apart, holding it up to the light, and looking at it from every angle until it finally makes sense. So when a Gemini makes a joke about something that actually hurt them, that isn't indifference. When they change the subject at exactly the moment things get real, that isn't avoidance. That is a mind still in the middle of understanding something it hasn't finished with yet. And when someone finally understands this about them, when someone offers space instead of pressure, when someone matches their curiosity instead of fearing it, Gemini becomes one of the most electrifying people to know. They bring conversations to life. They make you see things you would never have noticed on your own. They keep asking the questions that most people gave up on years ago. Life around Gemini doesn't go quiet, because Gemini is always discovering the next layer. So the truth about Gemini is not that they have two personalities. The truth is that Gemini lives at the intersection of two worlds, the world of ideas and the world of feeling. And the real work of being Gemini, or of truly knowing one, is learning to meet them in both places at once. If you are a Gemini, you have probably been called inconsistent by someone who simply couldn't keep up, restless, hard to read, too much. But what they missed is this: you were never changing for the sake of change. You were thinking. And for Gemini, thinking is not a distraction from living. It is how you live. If that resonated with you, leave a comment below and tell me what people most often misunderstand about Gemini. And if you want to explore the deeper psychology behind every zodiac sign, subscribe to Druidshaven. Because the most revealing things about human nature are rarely the ones we see on the surface. They are the ones moving quietly beneath it.